I'm Adam Willems, lead reporter at the Financial Revolutionist.
Randy Fernando, VP of Product at Marqeta.
Thank you, Randy, so much for being here.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if you could speak to the journey to Marqeta and the great things you've built along the way.
Absolutely. So I've been in Marqeta for about 9 months. I actually joined back in February when my startup, Power, was acquired by Marqeta. Was working on Power for a couple of years. And then before that, I spent time at a variety of different fintechs. So spent the last 10 or 15 years of my life in fintech and financial services, building products, building companies, mainly in D2C fintech.
Okay.
So led product at Acorns. You might be familiar with the micro investing application. Prior to Acorns, actually had a direct-to-consumer retirement application. So Acorns for retirement, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And then actually sold that company to Acorns as well.
Okay.
So can't get away from fintech and building companies, but
Right.
I love it.
And acquisitions too.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm curious. First, maybe just to have viewers sort of get a bit of background, I'm wondering if you could discuss the most recent product launch that you announced this morning.
Yeah, so we launched the new Marqeta credit platform, which is really exciting for us because we had an opportunity post acquisition to basically migrate Power's program management capabilities on top of Marqeta's issuing and processing platform. Why that's really interesting is because we've now created a platform where we're an end-to-end credit card issuer. So everything from issuing, processing, program management, all under one roof. And for anyone that has tried to build and launch a credit card product in the past, they know how painful it can be to manage various partners, vendors, all the compliance related kind of oversight and requirements. And so what we've tried to do is make it easy for any company, whether you're a fintech, a bank, or a non-fintech, to launch an embedded and white labeled credit card product.
Right. I'd love to hear. You mentioned previously when I saw you speak that the life cycle for issuing a credit card is something that you've been able to whittle down quite significantly, down to
Yeah.
6 months. I'm wondering why people should care about that turnaround.
Yeah, so because we've made it so easy, that's one of the reasons why we've been able to cut down on the time to market. Why that matters is because typically the companies that we work with, they're not fintech companies or finance companies. And so when they think about issuing a card to deepen the relationships with the consumers that they already have, they're looking at it as a way to supplement their core business, right? And so that means getting to market sooner, gathering data, not spending an enormous amount of product or engineering resources to build actual experience. One of the things that we bring to the table that is kind of unique is we have these low code UI templates. And so you can embed these templates directly within your existing mobile apps or
Mm-hmm.
web experiences, and it look and feels just like your native experience to your end customer. So everything from the application flow to card management, that all lives within your existing properties. And to your customers, they don't know Marqeta exists. We power the experiences on your behalf.
Right. That's really interesting. Um, what was it like for you stepping into this role and then also having this product launch? Was it something that you were sort of directly in control of, and how long was Marqeta working on this product, you know, subsequent to or prior to your arrival?
Yeah, so Marqeta was working on credit for the last few years,
Okay.
and they were really focused on the issuing and processing aspect of credit card issuance.
Right.
And I think one of the things that they were hearing from all of their customers and their new prospects was that they really wanted kind of that program management service.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, Marqeta didn't offer that in credit, and that was our sole focus at Power, was to kind of reimagine program management, right? Program
Right.
management 2.0, if you will. And that was really centered around kind of, yes, handling all of the ops, compliance, and regulatory aspects of credit card management, but also acting as a partner. So we
Mm-hmm.
help you think through everything from the card value prop, your loyalty and rewards program, and even as you think about scaling, thinking about customer lifecycle marketing, thinking about the customer journey, really trying to be that partner, that advisor to our customers. Again, they're not traditionally finance companies. And so in our previous lives, we kind of built that muscle working with some of the most successful consumer fintech products. And so now we've used those best practices to help our customers launch successful programs.
Right. So, what are some of those sort of best practices that you've been able to develop at Acorns and at Power and even now?
I think you really got to understand that end customer, right?
Yeah,
I think creating kind of a one size fits all approach, whether it be a user experience or a loyalty and reward strategy, doesn't really work, right? So at Acorns, what we try to do is simplify investing, speak to customers on their terms, not industry jargon, get customers in the door as quickly as possible to start investing. Overwhelmingly, the majority of our customers at Acorns had never had a savings account, much less an investment
right.
account. And so for them, once we got them in the door, within the first few days, they'd see their balance start to grow. And that was extremely powerful for them when many of them had no savings to their name before that, right? And so as we think about the clients that we work with today, we try to get a deep understanding as to who their end customer is,
Right.
whether it's a consumer or even another business.
Mm-hmm.
And then we develop kind of a framework and a journey that aligns exactly with that customer subset.
Okay, understood. What are you hoping to do at Marqeta from here?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
I would say that, you know, Marquetta was an interesting kind of prospect for us as we started to think through, okay, is this a path that we want to go down in terms of the acquisition?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that what I mentioned before, we've created this unique value prop where you've got a brand in Marquetta that is known for its modern tech forward platform,
Right.
having launched some of the most innovative, disruptive card programs that have come to market over the last 13 years, right? Globally. And then you've layered on top of that Power's innovative new program management capabilities. And you've got this unique kind of partnership between these two companies and products that have come together. And in my belief, we've got an opportunity to kind of change the game as it pertains to credit card issuance. Really reimagine what it means to issue a credit card um, within a brand's kind of experience.
Right.
Marqueta's focus to date has really been centered around debit card issuance.
Right.
And they've created a very successful company doing so. We're just getting started in credit.
Right.
And if you can imagine, you know, if we're able to kind of replicate the success that we've had in debit and credit, I mean, this is going to be a really great company to work for
Right.
many, many years.
Absolutely. With that in mind, obviously credit card issuance and having credit owning credit lines are two very different things, and I could understand that sort of that being less of a concern for you. But I am wondering, with household credit debt recently surpassing $1 trillion, sort of how much you see credit cards as sort of conducive to that end user's financial well-being versus some other financial products.
It's a great question. It's something that, you know, I really care about given my previous experience working at companies like Acorns, right?
Right.
We truly care about that, the 99% of Americans, right, that are
Mm-hmm.
trying to save and invest for their future. Same thing here, right? A credit card can be a great tool for folks as they're looking to build credit, increase buying power, maybe save for a home someday, right? It's important to kind of think about credit early and be smart. And I think for us, it's about making sure that we partner with companies that align with our mission to deliver a customer-centric type of product. We think that you can, build and scale really successful credit card businesses without overextending the end customer. And those are the types of companies that we try to do business with, right? Most of the time, we're working with companies that already maintain an existing relationship with the end consumer.
Mm-hmm.
And so the way that our brands look at a credit card is a way to just deepen the relationship with their existing consumer, as opposed to this being their sole business where they
Right.
need to kind of, you know, have this be the primary spending vehicle for a customer, rely on interest income for, revenue generation, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think what we found through kind of the first few years of working on this is that a lot of customers kind of align with how we think about the credit card business, and it gives us a lot of promise for the future.
Yeah, understood. My last question is whether there are any questions I haven't asked. I have not asked that you feel like I should have.
Oh gosh, I think you've covered it for the most part. One thing that I'll say is that as of right now, we're pretty focused on the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
But I do see an immense amount of opportunity outside the U.S. as well. And I think that as we think about kind of our short-term future, we're going to maintain our focus in the U.S. But eventually, we'd love to replicate this type of experience globally as well. right,
Sure.
specific to credit. There's emerging kind of economies and markets where fintech is still very nascent, and so I'm excited to kind of work with some of these emerging geographies down the road.
Great.
Yeah,
Well, thank you. It's been
thanks
a
a lot for the time.
pleasure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pleasure.